Hello and welcome to another Dollhouse Market Update. This week on the Market Update, we are going to take a look at two things, as we always do. We are going to take a look at the market itself, and we're going to also look at the question that I'm getting quite a lot nowadays, which is Calgary in a market bubble? So these are the two questions that we're going to be looking at. Looking in at the market itself. So as we do, we're going to look at some of the basic fundamentals of the market. As you know, that I track about 50 or 60 different market indicators every week to give us an idea of where Calgary is going. So we're going to look at a few of them this week. The one that I like the best, and the one that we spend a lot of time on week after week, is this one. It's called the absorption rate. Absorption rate, this graph over here dates back to 2007. In this area over here, this is today over here. We'll go into that in a little bit detail. The basic principle of this graph is kind of a little bit counterintuitive. The lower the line is on the graph, the better the market is doing. So the principle is this: if there's 100 homes on the market, you're selling 10 a day, you have an absorption rate of 10 days. That's kind of what we had over this end in 2007. And in 2007, we saw house prices at this point raising by about $1,000 a day. The market was quite insane. We got down to kind of almost 20, 30-day absorption rate. These artificial spikes here, again, that kind of indicates Christmas time of every year since 2007. The interesting thing to note over here is this year we did not have a Christmas spike. Okay, the first time that that's happened since 2006. Okay, as we look at what's happening here in the market, as supply is not increasing, but the demand of homes is increasing substantially, which is causing that line to drop. This big blue dotted rectangle across is what we call a balanced market. Balanced market is when the buyer neither the buyer nor the seller has an advantage. Right now, we're just right at the very bottom of a balanced market, and we're trending towards a buyer's market. So we're looking right now at things might turn, the tides might turn here a little bit. We've traditionally, for much of the last 5-6 years, been in a buyer's market, and only this one little period in 2009 did we jump back into a quasi-seller's market. Of course, 2007, 2006, which aren't on here, we had quite a strong seller's market, and that's where we saw the price increases. So we're just right on the cusp of going into a seller's market for the first time in quite a number of years. So we are going to see some price increases, and we're actually already seeing them here this year. So looking into the next, we're going to look at just where the activity is. So these price bands over here, the blue line indicates homes under $350,000, the red under $450,000, the green under $650,000. Actually, these are up to $1 million, and the purple is over $1 million. Under $650,000, homes are selling at about 11%, 11 to 12.2% per week right now. We haven't seen homes at the $450,000 to $650,000 price band sell as well as they are right now since 2007. The purple line, the $1 million homes, kind of bounce all over the place because you can have a week where only 2 homes of the 312, I believe, which are currently listed, selling, up to 14 homes. Actually, at one point last year, we had a 2-week period where they were selling over 20 homes a week in that $1 million plus price band. Looking at the sales per day, this is an interesting one to look at. So as we look at back in 2010, we saw the same trend that we're seeing right now, where we had a strong spiking in the price bands, in the amount of sales per day, and then it stopped right about this time of year last year. And what happened last year, if you remember, the federal government stepped in and put new mortgage rules in, and the Greek financial crisis hit the news. So the combination of those two things really stopped the market dead in its tracks. People with money, people with jobs put their money back in their pocket and decided to wait and see what the market is doing. This year, the confidence seems to be returning in the market. We've still got Greece still in the news, but not to the same extent as it was at this point last year. And the federal government hopefully isn't going to get involved in the market again. So we've had this trending of more and more homes selling week over week. This week, I think we were up to about 70, shade under 70 homes selling a day. That's not a lot in the long term. In fact, when you go back to 2007, we were at 120 to 140 homes selling a day. But the trend lines are looking very strong here. And again, the supply of homes is sitting at 4,900 homes, 6,900 homes in the city of Calgary. Think about that, 49 or 69. I think it's 49 actually. I'll have to go back into my notes and take a look at that. I think It is 49. It's 4,900 homes in the city of Calgary right now. So that's been the same for 3 weeks, and that doesn't seem to be changing. So as we go to the next slide, we're looking at the question, are we in a bubble in Calgary? My quick and short answer is no, Calgary is not heading towards a big falling of prices in the real estate market. There's a few reasons why I say that we are not in bubble in Calgary. I do think there are markets in Canada that are heading towards bubble territory and are at pretty much their upper end limits. Calgary is not one of them. Vancouver and Toronto, on the other hand, might have a different story. So looking as we going forward, this is an indication of where prices have been since 2007. From 2005 to 2007, we saw a 95% increase in the average home. From 2005 down to March 2009, we saw that fall. We saw about a 35% retrenchment in the market. Since then, we've been in a fairly narrow band of pricing. Since this period of time to now, we've seen increases in wages in the city of Calgary. We've got an average about anywhere between 3 and 5% per year where buying power is increasing. And we're looking at just now the prices just starting to climb a little bit. But generally, we've seen our retrenchment in prices. Vancouver and Toronto did not experience that same thing. So with already we've had our prices come down to a more reasonable level. 2, interest rates have stabilized. And 3, buying power in the Calgary market has increased, and actually affordability of homes are the best right now than they have been since late 2005. Looking at what was the other point I wanted to make on this, I'm sure it'll come back to me later. We'll move on. Looking at unemployment in the city of Calgary, which is interesting. We've got some of the lowest unemployment in North America right now. In this graph, we're seeing it at 5.4%, and that was January. We're down to under 5.3% right now in the city of Calgary. So I've got clients that are headhunters, and basically there is no talent left in the city of Calgary. Everybody who is an engineer has got their job. They're having to import jobs from outside of the city. Interesting, another client of mine works for Calgary Economic Development. Give him a call just to get a little touch base of what their numbers are looking at. And the Board of Trade is now predicting this year that 21,000 people are going to move to the city of Calgary. So these are numbers that we haven't seen since those heady days. In fact, I think 2007 saw 26,000 people moving to Calgary, if my memory serves me. So we're looking at some pretty strong growth in population. That equals demand. We're seeing rental rates increasing, rental occupancies lowering quite a bit. So that's just something to keep in mind. Okay. So again, with unemployment being as low as it is, being with all the people moving to Calgary, with the increasing affordability of homes, as we saw in that previous slide, Calgary is well positioned for a good, strong economic run. There are question marks out there. The price of gas, which just hit historical lows this week. We still have Greece in the news, so it's not a full home run. But basically, when we're looking at the trend lines, when we're looking at what's happening generally in the economy of Calgary, things are looking quite strong. So the question, are we heading for a bubble? No. The other thing to point out, though, so I hope that gives you a good indication of where we are in Calgary, answers your question about the market bubble. My name is Marc Doll. I'd love to be your realtor. If you have any questions, there's ways to get a hold of me. I am on Twitter at DollhouseYYC. You might have put up with some of my political views on there. They're kind of fun. I'm available on the internet at sold@markdollhomes.ca and again at 403-561-7318. All in all, I hope you enjoyed this video presentation, and I hope to see you again. Thanks very much.